On this edition of Fulton at Work, officials at the Fulton County Airport are flying high after the approval of their renovation wish list. And we'll find out what other renovation projects are still in the works. I'm Darryl Carver. All this and more is coming up on Fulton at Work. Please stay with us. Welcome to Fulton at Work. I'm Darryl Carver. The Fulton County Airport has been a county-owned public airport facility for decades. Age and economic growth in the area meant the need for major improvements to the airport, commonly referred to as Charlie Brown Field.
On the motion to approve, that motion passes. 5 yeas, 1 nay.
Now, at the Board of Commissioners' February recess meeting, the commissioners approved a $4 million renovation project. And though the vote passed after a 5-1 vote, there were some questions about its timing. The board felt they simply did not have the time needed to review the situation.
It's quite frustrating to see large amounts like this just given to you at the last minute. I know that we're all intelligent, we can process things, we understand the importance, but if y'all know something like this is coming, placeholder, a heads up, something is appropriate.
Well, it is always frustrating to be asked to authorize a big expenditure at last minute, but there are occasions when circumstances just require that.
For several years, we have worked closely with this division to urge them, upon them, the importance of presenting information to us in sufficient time so that we could make a decision.
Now, joining us now to talk about this and the importance of this massive renovation project is the Director of Public Works, David Clark. First of all, Mr. Clark, thank you for joining us.
It's good to be here.
Now, let's start things off by addressing why the commissioners felt they did not have enough time to review the details of this particular renovation project.
This project unfortunately had a tight timeline based on the fact that the money is actually coming from the Federal Aviation Administration through GDOT. And in order for GDOT to have the necessary approvals in place to get the FAA money, they needed to have all of the information after the bid around February 25th or so of the month. So that didn't give us enough time to open the bids on February 11th and have them awarded by the commissioners on March 1st like we would like. So therefore we had to move it up to February 15th.
Now, what would have happened if they had insisted on those 2 more weeks to review it?
We would have run the risk of losing the money or having the project delayed depending on the FAA's rulings.
Now, I know you have described this project as being very crucial to this airport's future. Go into a little bit of the details of the renovation project and why it was so necessary.
This area is focusing on the north side of the runways between Fulton Industrial Boulevard and the river. And that area right now has been heavily wooded for many, many decades, that we've always identified as a location where we wanted to have future expansion of the airport for commercial hangars, the places where corporate clients usually store their planes. And so this project that was awarded allows us to do all of the site work necessary to create large, flat areas of land for those future hangars to be constructed on.
And I know some major corporations in recent years have either moved to Fulton County or built distribution centers here. Is that one of the reasons that there was a need for new corporate hangars?
Yes, the overall area of Atlanta's airspace is getting very, very crowded. A lot of corporate clients use Fulton County's airport and Peachtree DeKalb's airport to serve their needs. As Peachtree DeKalb continues to operate at and above capacity, they really are looking for other places to site their operations. And fortunately for us, Fulton County's airport has become a quite attractive location for a lot of clients. It's very convenient to the downtown area. It's very convenient to a lot of the west side office complexes and parks that line 285. So therefore, we've really kind of positioned ourselves very well to be an alternative to going into the Beltway and the perimeter to go to Peachtree DeKalb while still maintaining the Atlanta presence.
Now, what will this mean in terms of job creation for our area?
Well, obviously there will be construction jobs associated with the project. We expect there's probably about 100 or so workers that will be working on the construction project at any given time. But the more importantly is the long term, as we open up this area for future corporate hangars and corporate clients, they'll be able to stock that with their staff, who both are office staff, mechanics who work on the planes, as well as their pilot and professional staff associated with the planes themselves.
And I know there's kind of an element of the old saying, if you build it, they will come. If more companies follow suit, will that mean more expansion for the airport potentially?
Unfortunately, we're really running out of real estate to do any large-scale expansions past this one that we're working on right now. We are very much constrained by the river. There's buffers and other environmental concerns, so we can't get too close to the river. And then also with Fulton Industrial Boulevard running down the side of us, we really can't expand further that way, and we certainly don't want to go on the other side of Fulton Industrial Boulevard.
That's great information to have. When we come back, we'll continue to talk to you a little bit more about some other projects, both completed and some that are on the horizon. So please stay with us. Welcome back to Fulton at Work. I'm Darryl Carver. Building Fulton's future, whether it's planes, trains, automobiles, or any other type of transportation, the Public Works Department is dedicated to get you where you need to go in a safe and timely manner. And we'd like to welcome back Director David Clark to look back and ahead at some of their other projects. First of all, go into a few more details about the Public Works Department and what they are responsible for.
Sure. We do a lot of different things throughout the entire county. In North Fulton, we primarily serve the sanitary sewer and drinking water needs of everything north of the river. And in between the river and the city of Atlanta, pretty much where Sandy Springs is, we just do sanitary sewer. They get their drinking water from the city of Atlanta. And then in South Fulton, not only do we have the airport, but we also have a sanitary sewer line that serves a good portion of both the unincorporated, which soon will be the city of South Fulton, as well as all the other municipalities in South Fulton. Plus, we do all the transportation work, the roads, the stormwater, the traffic signals, the signs, those types of roadway operations for the unincorporated area of South Fulton.
Now, in the early part of 2017, ground was broken on the Wolf Creek multi-use trail. Talk about that being the first of its kind really in South Fulton and how it was received by residents.
We're really excited about it, and the feedback that we're getting from the community, they're also very excited about it. It is going to be the first completely off-street recreational trail that will serve any of the, it will serve any place within South Fulton. It is going to be connecting the amphitheater over to the library, the Wolf Creek Library, as well as areas around the amphitheater property itself. It's completely off-road, which means it's not adjacent to a roadway. It's going to be more of a, it's not a nature walk, but you're going to be walking through the woods. You're going to be walking through a lot of quiet areas without cars rushing by you. So we really think it's going to be a great family-oriented area to get a little bit of exercise and go to the library.
Do you anticipate other multi-use trail projects down the road?
We're really hoping that this becomes the catalyst to other projects. We've identified other locations that we would like to have off-street, off-road trails like this, and we're just hoping that this gets successful, that we can get the funding for the rest of them.
Now, as you alluded to earlier, your department's also responsible for water in some parts of the county. Talk about the Little River Plant expansion and why it's so significant.
The Little River expansion is probably going to be the first of two major expansions that we're going to be getting involved with in this year. The Little River expansion is in the far northwestern corner of the county that serves Mountain Park and the western Roswell area. It's one of our smaller plants. Right now it only treats about 1 million gallons a day. We're going to expand it to 2.5 million gallons a day. But more importantly is that entire area since 1987 has had a ton of development restrictions on it because the Little River treatment plant could not handle much more residential wastewater that would be coming to the plant. So we've had to do a lot of small little projects to allow for the area to continue to grow. With this new project, those restrictions will be removed, and we'll be able to accommodate growth for the next 50 years we're expecting.
And not to put even more on your plate, but in 2016, voters approved the T-Splosh referendum. When does that tax first begin to be collected, and what will be some of its first projects?
Sure. Each community has kind of identified their own projects, but for Fulton County, our first projects are going to be resurfacing roadways in a lot of subdivisions in the South Fulton area. The tax goes into effect on April 1st, and we expect to get our first check from the State Department of Revenue the second or third week of May. They usually work about 2 or 3 weeks after a month closes. We'll get a monthly check. So that check that we get around May 20th will be for the time period between April 1st and April 30th. Altogether, we're expecting a little over $10 million to be coming in this year. Next year, when we have the full year, it's going to be closer to $20 million, but it's going to allow us to do probably about $8 million worth of resurfacing work, and then a few more $1 million of sidewalk work in 2017.
We talked earlier about your department being responsible for building Fulton's future. Talk about some of the major investments that have been made in the county, various facilities, libraries, water, and transportation.
Sure. Probably the biggest the biggest infrastructure improvements are the 2 wastewater treatment plants that we'll be doing right now. We just talked about the Little River plant, which will begin construction in May of this year. At the end of this year, early 2018, we're going to be doing our even bigger wastewater treatment plant expansion at Big Creek, which is on Marietta Highway near the Cobb County line. Right now, that plant is 24 million gallons a day. It serves most of all of Roswell, all of Alpharetta, a good portion of Milton, and even a small section of Johns Creek. And once the project is completed in 2022, it will serve about 38 million gallons of wastewater a day. So we're going from 24 to 38 million gallons a day, which will really allow us to have all of the wastewater needs met for a number of years. When you counter that with our work at the Little River, the Johns Creek plant, which was done in 2009, we're really well suited to serve all of the residential growth and continued needs in the North Fulton area. So that's kind of our big projects from the wastewater. From a transportation side, we're going to be building our first roundabout down at Butner Road and Stonewall Tell in 2017, as well as a number of sidewalk projects along Old National Highway, Danforth Road, and New Hope Road. So we're really beginning to expand not only the capacity needs of the area, but then we're also doing a lot more multimodal projects like the sidewalks and bike improvements.
What should viewers do if they need to contact Public Works?
Best way to reach us is through our phone number, which is 404-612-7400. No matter if it's a transportation issue or a water or wastewater issue or even an airport question, the central receptionist can then get you directed to the right department to talk to.
David Clark, thank you for being on the program. We'll be back in just a moment. That's all of our time. Thank you for joining us for Fulton at Work, and a very special thanks to our guest today. Now we want to connect with you online. Please check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Darryl Carver, and I'll see you next time.